What's up, everybody? It is your boy Phil Shock, and then I sit Hedgehog here with our RGBL Week 6 Team Builder. I know I haven't really been getting these videos per se out and about. I've been really focusing on Xenoverse lately, and it's just a fun and addicting game, and I really like it. I think I'm almost done with it, but it's no excuse to get my leagues matches going because right now it's actually Friday, and I just built one for the 4 leagues I'm in. Maybe I'm going to have to build again sooner or later again for another league, which you guys will see eventually or see before this video, who knows. But yeah, we're here for week 6. We unfortunately lost last week 2-0, and honestly, I don't think there was anything around that. I think us not having poison jab on Como cost us the game because we would have won the game, unless for some reason he was Scarf Cheer because if he was Scarf Cheer then he would have outsped. Then depending on damages and stuff like that, he would have knocked me out, and I definitely regret not having Scarf, having Poison Jab now. Earthquake definitely was not the necessary bring, and ultimately did cost us in the end. So you live and learn, man. We would have probably gone 5-0 with that, but hey, we only lost 2-0, so it wasn't in the world. So, but we are going against the Kodiokos and their California Crawdons or Carolina Crawdons. If I messed up the name, I apologize, but. They are currently right now 2-2. I don't know if they're going to be 2-3, 3-2, though. They're kind of balancing between that run for playoffs. We are right now sitting pretty good with a 4-1 for playoffs. It is top 6, top 10-week season. So essentially, if we win 2 more games, we clinch playoffs 100%. It's just depending on our seeding will really matter right there. But I'm pretty sure with 6 wins win a 10-week season, 100% clinches us 100% of the time. So yeah, so if we can win this game, we can have one less game to stress about and one game kind of focus on. But of course, we're going to try to make sure we win every single week because, best to give it our fair chance to do whatever we can. But let's get into this. We're going against Kodioko, and here is his team. He's got Landorus, Araquanid, Azel, Hydreigon, Blacephalon, Megadino, Alolan Executor, so, Type Null, Hariyama, Garbodor, and Magnezone. His team's definitely kind of top heavy in my opinion. There's a few low things on his team that can come, but primarily his first 5, maybe 6, are definitely like Monty would bring every single week just because they're so really good against teams. But breaking down his team, I don't think Magnezone comes with a combination of like extra, like with Zero Aura that just walls it, and then our ground core, and then just Como O, like I really see no purpose of having even Venusaur walls it. I see no purpose in him to bring it. Garbodor would only be there in case he needs to stop Primarina from spamming attacks, but other than that, Primarina is pretty much free to do whatever it really wants. Hariyama kind of can come, but I don't know exactly what spread, sets, or anything like that it could use to benefit from, so I don't know if it really comes enough. It has a small chance to show up, but I'm not banking on it to show up, so. It's type null, and he would only want to bring it if he wanted to have the type null versus self outlay war. But type null overall is a really annoying defensive Pokemon when you violate, so I definitely could see him maybe thinking he needs it, but it's gonna be up in the air whether or not he thinks he can bring it or not. It's gonna be one of those unique mons, but it could come. It could potentially come since especially we're not bringing our fighting type this week, and we have no real fighting type coverage to check it, so it's gonna be interesting. Alolan Exeggutor could be a little bit of annoyance against our team as well because how well it matches up really decently good against us. So definitely something to kind of keep note with that in mind right there. So definitely something to focus. For the main 6, I think Landorus 100% has to come. If he does not lose, his team just loses. His team straight up loses to my Excadrill. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. His team will just straight up lose to Excadrill 100%. And that will be the biggest mistake of his life. Landorus overall is really good against our team because ground spam is actually pretty good against us. We have very limited switches to ground spam. And this could be a matchup where he can try to take advantage of Choice Banded Landorus, which definitely could be something he wants to bring versus us. Definitely to keep in mind. Araquanid with webs is very annoying. We have proven that our team can handle the webs relatively fine, whether it be on them or in them. But I don't know if they'll bring webs. I think Araquanid actually can pull out a lot of offensive coverage. It's got really good coverage. I do expect it to not be assault vested though. I do expect to see something like Toxic, Leech Light, maybe Leech Light, but more likely Liquidation, Toxic, maybe Mirror Coat potentially. But I could also see him just throwing Sticky Webs on there in case he likes to match up for Sticky Webs in that type of situation. Azel's really annoying versus our team because Psychic Spam is actually pretty dang hard to hit us. He's going to definitely be forced to bring Psychic and Dazzling Gleam to be able to hit Spiritomb, because Spiritomb could be something that you may have to be careful about what's bringing. But overall, it's definitely going to be those mon that's just going to be really annoying. But it's definitely be forcing its coverage. Like, if it goes, I feel like it can't go physical. It can kind of go physical versus us, but it kind of can't. It can go special against it, kind of can't. It could be utility, but it can't. I think there's a lot of things about Azelf that's going to really kind of struggle him, but something I hope we can take advantage. Scarf Hydreigon or Setup Hydreigon with Dragonite is definitely threatening versus us because we very much do not like that Hydreigon at all. Blacephalon, you can see this thing being the Choice Scarf or Choice Specs. This thing is very deadly. It pretty much gets a KO against our team unless we can play the Switch game correctly around it and have to go around that. And Mega Audino really is just an annoying wall. It pretty much does not die, and I don't care what people say. This is the one of the worst Megas ever created in its existence. But this thing can actually be a really good also because it has the better offensive coverage. Because again, normal types get the Gen 1 syndrome where they can learn almost about every single move in the game. But I think Audino is going to play more of a protector role, like maybe Heal Bell, Wish, Toxic, and then Dasmu, or Heal Bell, Wish, and just Stab plus Fire move or something like that. I don't really know, so it's going to be really up in the air for this matchup. So let's go ahead, break down the team we're bringing this week. And I think I'm feeling pretty good with this team we brought this week. We're first kicking off with Ariel. You really look at this man's team. You look at Ariel. What switches in on this thing? I only legit need to run dual stab. The only one mon on his team that does not take a hit is just that Garbodor. But again, Surf knocks that thing out. Everything on his team is weak to my coverage. The only other mon I could see him maybe switching in is that type Null. But other than that, there is no switching for Specs Moonblast. There is no switching for Specs Surf. I have Flip Turn on there only for pivoting, and I do have Light Screen. I kind of lean towards Light Screen more than I did with Reflect, just because I felt like this was a little bit better to have in the long run. I don't know if it will be, but if it costs us, it costs us. But we're running max HP, 132 defense, 124 special attack with a modest nature. We don't need speed to be faster than Arachninid. We don't that, which was the only thing I was really kind of concerned being faster than. But more times than not, depending on matchup, this thing is 100% going to be lead, and I am instantly clicking Moonblast and either picking up a KO or I am crippling something. But something in the end will be going down and will basically be falling to the hands of Primarina. Up next, we're bringing Muskie this week, but we're not going to be bringing Sand Muskie. We're actually bringing somewhat of a unique Muskie, if I could say. We're bringing Muskie here, our Stalin, with Fire Fang, Play Rough, Crunch, and Strength. I did decide to go with normal Stab for this week. I kind of debate I'm not running normal stab because normal stab's not too necessary, but it's really good to have. But the coverage for Stoutland this week is definitely necessary. Ice Fang is there, so we can be able to handle the Landorus. Player Off is there to handle Hydreigon. Crunch is there to handle both the Blacephalon and for the other day. I was thinking of putting excuse me. Thunder Thing there, but I kind of didn't see no necessariness to it. I felt like just having a strong stab move was really good. And plus, I don't think he's really going to be bringing status versus my team, so I didn't really think Facade was really good. So I decided to go Strength, which is my strongest normal type move, not counting Giga Impact. So definitely a big one. We are running the Assault Vest this week because of his team, and I felt like Assault Vest matched up really, really well against good puncher of his team, which definitely forces life. And we are running Scrappy so that way we cannot be intimidated and we can hit the Ghost types. So he's going to be very careful about us clicking normal stuff against him, so he can reliably switch in on that. 96 HP, max attack out of him at 68 into the defense, speed up, and 92 speed. That speed's only really designed to outspeed. I believe that is 0 speed invested Landorus. Let me double check that. Yes, it's meant to outspeed Landorus if it's just a bulky, like a very bulky Landorus, so and stuff like that. Up next, we're bringing the Avatar, our kill leader for the season, and all pretty much in the top 3, if not still number 1 in the kill leader board. 13-2. This thing is stupidly good, and I love it. We're bringing Choice Banded Zero. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why in the blazes of glory, why would I ever bring Choice Banded when he has a Landorus of all Pokemon? Well, here's the thing with this. Once Landorus gets weakened, knock off twice, that thing's dead. Nothing stops me. And then once that thing goes down, I'm legit, even if Magnezone's there, I'm legit just going to click Plasma Fist. There's nothing on his team that would resist it. Player is only really there if I necessarily need to knock out things like the Executor or the Hydreigon. But if Hydreigon is chipped, excuse me, to some little bit guard, then a choice banded Plasma Fist 2 KOs. It's just this monster has no switch in on his team once the Landorus goes on. And for some reason he doesn't bring Landorus, this is my lead, and I'm literally just going to click Plasma Fist and kill something. Running 132 HP for bulk, 8 speed F just because I had left over, 116 speed, which makes me faster in every single thing on this team. So if anything is choice scarf, I will know that. And max attack adamant, of course. We are running player off, like I said, for the Landorus and for the Executor. We are running knockoff just to kind of remove items and just spam things. Plasma Fist is just to be breaking everything down, and we do have Volt Switch for potential pivoting, which is very important for this as well. I'm just running Big Mama, and we're gonna kind of risk Big Mama this week with the Smooth Rock. Now, the reason why I'm saying we're risking Big Mama is I really wanted to put Slack Off on here. I felt like Slack Off was really good, but those are like these moves were like along with Slack Off were the 5 main moves I knew I wanted to bring this week. And ultimately, I went with Toxic. Now, the main reason I went with Toxic is that I want to first know if he's going to have to waste a turn using Heal Bell on his Audino if he brings it. I also want to see him if he's got any Heal Bells to immediately show it so I know how to get rid of it. Toxic. Plus, free Toxic ship is really good. Excuse me, guys. It's getting kind of late for me, as you can see, but I just really thought like spreading Toxics around were really good. We are bringing Stealth Rocks. I actually think Stealth Rocks can be playing a really good to break potential sashes. Plus to define if anything's running heavy duty boots, which is also going to be really good for us there. Ice Fang was only there because I can hit Landorus. It also lets me hit the Hydreigon really too if I want to. Earthquake spam is pretty much good against him, except for obviously his Azelf and some of his others. Also with having Ice Fang, it checks the Executor that could potentially switching on as well. We're in 212 in HP, 24 attack, 172 defense, 100 special defense with the careful nature. We are running a bit more physically defensive hippo, but we're running a bit of speed up boost so that way we can take some hits from things on his team, especially if things are just choice cards instead of choice specs or something like that. Up next, we're bringing Driller, and I think this is a set that I think is going to be slightly risky, but I think is going to pay off in the end. We are running Life Orb Extra Control with 56 HP to give us that odd number in the HP, so that way our Life Orb chip is not as bad. Running Max Attack Adamant, 12 in the Spadef, and 188 speed with the Adamant nature. With the speed, we are faster than a Scarful Cephalon, which is really good. We are running Sword Seeds, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and Magnet Rise. Now, the goal is to hopefully get Excadrill in, set up a Swords Dance, even when Landorus comes in and get my +1, and then boom, I click Magnet Rise as he's going to click Earthquake, or maybe U-Turn, and then bring something in that's going to die. Rock Slide hits the 2 main things on his team that comes in on my ground stab, which is going to be the Araquanid, and can also hit the Azelf. That's where Iron Head is. But Rock Slide is there just so I can also hit Blacephalon super effectively. That I need. Even though Blacephalon's really frail, I think I can still kill with an Earthquake. Iron Head. I needed that. And I do have Swords Dance, I think, set up off potentially, especially with me being Magnet Rise. Because with clicking Magnet Rise, he has to stall. Because for the turn I do it and 4 extra turns, I have a ground immunity. And he has to stop me from setting up. And if I get set up with that Magnet Rise up, he cannot beat my Excadrill, which is going to be incredibly good. Because an Excadrill at +2 pretty much just one hit, or not 2 KOs everything on his team. Even with stuff being shipped down, I can still work around that. And there's a train going by. If you hear that, I do apologize. So I do think Excadrill is 100% a win con. If we can keep this in around, I do think Zero Orc could potentially a win con, and I think Marina is mostly going to be there for breaker bonus. But I'm actually running Savali, who's been a little under the radar for us here, and I think we can be doing a lot. We are going to be running a really unique kind of Savali this. We're running Savali Flying. Now, the reason I went with Flying this week is it does resist the options to be affected by Sticky Wedge, which is really good. But more importantly, it gives me a Mon that can kind of just reliably switch into Landorus, which is really good. Because Landorus, I feel like, is going to be running U-Turn, Earthquake, maybe Defog, or Stealth Rocks, one of the two, and then potentially either Knockoff or it carries again the other move, meaning Defog, like this. Because I can see being kind of more defensive Landorus versus an offensive Landorus and stuff like that. But again, Landorus cannot basically touch this. I don't think Landorus is bringing rock coverage when I don't think rock coverage really is needed on Landorus for this week. So Savali pretty much is my main switch into Landorus every single time. We are running multi-attack, Ice Beam, Parting Shot, and Flamethrower. Flamethrower I only put there just in case Madness Zone does come. because Magnezone could potentially be a little bit of annoyance versus us. So that's why I do have Flamethrower on there. I literally don't need Flamethrower for anything else. It pretty much is kind of a useless move, if all honesty. We are running Multi-Attack and Ice Beam, which are going to be pretty much the two main moves I'm going to be clicking. Ice Beam is there just strictly for Lando. And other than that, he also does a really good spam out to flying type attacks. So that's where our multi-attack is going to come in really good. We're running max HP, 80 in attack with Adamant Nature, 12 in speed up, and 164 speed. Now, I decided to take the gamble on this week, and we're going to actually be running a lot of speed with an attack investment set here, just because I want to scout things. So basically what I've decided is that Azel has any speed investment on it, and it's not, like a Focus Sash Suicide Lead where it's going to be like, defense, or HP and stuff like, or it's going to be like HP and stuff like that. I wanted to take advantage of that. So we are running up speed to where we are faster than Azel with 0 speed investment. So if Azel's in this 1v1 and outspeeds me, it definitely has speed investment, which is going to be something I have to be looking to, which is going to be very important for that. But other than that, I think Silvally Flying can actually put in like good. I think Parting Shot is also really good. So we have 3 ways of kind of pivoting for this week, which is I think is going to be pretty good for my team. I think this is the most I've ever brought for pivoting. But I think like they just put in so much work. Again, there was only like 1 or 2 moves I needed on 2 of my Pokemon, so I felt like having just pivoting options were really good there too. But that's gonna be us really. I'm hoping we can go 5-1. That definitely sounds better than 4-2. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you already do. Join the Full Shocker crew today. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Till next time, everybody. Peace.